Now at 5, Cherokee County Sheriff David Groves announces he's stepping down from the office. Plus, we're going to hear from a local senator and a farmer about the need for a new federal farm bill. And dozens of people gather in Oklahoma City to mark the 29th anniversary of the bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Cherokee County, Kansas Sheriff David Groves announces he's leaving the office after 15 years. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Groves has spent the last 25 years in law enforcement. In addition to 15 years as sheriff, he had multiple terms as chairman of the Tri-State Major Case Squad, was president of the Kansas Sheriff's Association, was even named Kansas Sheriff of the Year in 2019. In a statement, Groves says he plans to pursue professional opportunities outside of law enforcement and will leave the position once Governor Laura Kelly appoints his replacement. You can read the sheriff's full statement on our website, koamnewsnow.com. As local farmers prepare for their busiest time of year, they're waiting for the next farm bill to be finalized. U.S. House Agriculture Chairman Glenn Thompson expects to reveal the legislation within the next month. Kansas Senator Jerry Moran hopes to see a new and updated bill. Currently, nutrition programs account for about 3/4 of the $428 billion projected total cost of the 2018 Farm Act. That's according to U.S. Department of Agriculture. Some, including Moran, think farmers should get more government help.
Ask any Kansan, ask any American, certainly ask any farmer about the increasing costs of fertilizer, natural gas, diesel fuel, all the input costs that they have to put into a crop in growing a crop. Those prices have gone up significantly.
All inputs have gone up, just like everybody sees at the grocery store and the gas station. It affects us the same way. Things are 10 to 20% higher. Seed costs, fertilizer.
The Farm Bill is renewed every 5 years. The current one is valid until September. Agriculture is the largest economic driver in Kansas, with a total contribution of $81 billion to the Kansas economy. That's according to the Kansas Department of Agriculture. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a cooler day, but it's been a nice Friday, a little bit on the breezy side, and we are dry. We look pretty good in Joplin, sitting at 63. 62 is where we sit in Pittsburgh, and most of us are sitting low to mid 60s. You do get some upper 60s once you get out across southeastern parts of Kansas, but we have this northeasterly wind kicking in, so it's going to stay kind of breezy as we go through the evening hours, but the winds aren't really going to be a concern for us over the next couple days. Just a few clouds kind of skirting through. Here's our next little wave. It doesn't have a lot of moisture, but it will give us some clouds and a few random showers as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. But the evening looks fine. Slide back through the 50s and the 40s. Of course, we'll look at that weekend forecast for you here in just a bit.
See you soon. Educators in the Joplin area Catholic school system today received training on teaching students with dyslexia. Today's training for teachers at St. Mary's Elementary, St. Peter's Middle School, and Macaulay Catholic is the first of 5 professional development days for those teachers. It focuses on a structural literacy approach to help affected students succeed.
As a teacher, if you have the tools you need, your job is easier. You're able to help kids. We don't become educators to make money. We love what we do and we love giving back. So having the right tools is extremely important. And this training is, it's what it does.
According to Yale University, 1 in 5 students has dyslexia. Elementary school students in Pittsburgh today got a chance to learn more about local Native American history. All 4th grade students are visiting Books and Burrow to view the store's mural that depicts parts of the indigenous culture. Students have been learning about Native American history, including the bookstore owner's Peoria tribe. The field trip was organized by high school students who helped create worksheets for the elementary kids.
So I thought it was really, really super important for just to start with me sharing my story, and then hopefully, like Maggie said, it might inspire somebody else to research their own family history and their culture.
4th grade students also received a new book from the Books and Burrow. The book's about a young girl embracing her Native American identity. Oklahoma City residents spent some time this morning remembering the lives lost on this date in the 1995 bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. The remembrance ceremony took place at the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum. It included an observance of 168 seconds of silence, one for every victim killed in that attack, including 19 children. Speakers at the ceremony included U.S. Secretary of Interior Deb Haaland, Oklahoma City Mayor David Holt, and Governor Kevin Stitt.
But we looked evil in the eye, and we came together as one Oklahoma. We showed our strength, our resilience, and our courage. Out of the rubble of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building came the Oklahoma Standard. And today, on the 29th anniversary, we recommit ourselves to that standard.
At the time of the attack, it was the deadliest act of homegrown terrorism in American history. Witnesses described a horrific scene outside the criminal courthouse in Manhattan today where they saw a man set himself on fire. Happened while court was in session for former President Trump's hush money trial. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
Outside the courthouse where jury selection was being finalized in former President Trump's hush money trial, witnesses saw a man pour liquid over his head and set himself on fire.
The male, he takes a couple of steps while he's on fire, and then eventually falls onto a police barrier and falls down to the ground.
Officials rushed to extinguish the flames. The man was loaded onto a stretcher and taken to a nearby hospital in critical condition. Law enforcement officials say there is no ongoing threat to public safety.
And with the magnitude of what's going on around right here, we'll reassess our security with our federal partners.
The chaos added to an already tense scene in Lower Manhattan. Before heading into court, Trump railed against a gag order limiting what he can say publicly about potential witnesses.
The gag order has to come off. People are allowed to speak about me, and I have a gag order, just to show you how much more unfair it is.
Prosecutors accused Trump of already violating the order 7 times, and they'd like him fined. A hearing on that is set for next week. This week, lawyers chose 12 New Yorkers who will decide whether Trump falsified business records to hide an alleged affair ahead of the 2016 election. The jury includes 7 men and 5 women. Among them, a salesman, an investment banker, lawyers, and a speech therapist.
This jury is going to be in a fishbowl under a microscope. We will be watching their body posture, whether or not they're sighing, taking notes, rolling their eyes. Do they look bored?
Legal experts say this jury could be the most closely watched jury in history as they judge whether Trump is guilty on 34 felony counts. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Opening statements in this case are expected to begin on Monday. Police say the burned man is a 37-year-old from Florida and that he was throwing pamphlets with conspiracy theory propaganda into the air before the incident. He is in the hospital still in critical condition. Still ahead, the environmental impact of certain types of clothing.
Activewear with fabrics that stretch has boomed in popularity, but it's challenging to recycle. I'm Bradley Blackburn with the problem and the people trying to solve it.
And next in Health Watch, how a program aims to help combat teen suicide. Topping today's Health Watch, suicide continues to be a leading cause of death for young people in the U.S. It's a serious public concern that has health departments all across the country trying to figure out ways to fight it. Dominic Garcia shows us a new campaign created with the input of dozens of teens.
I hope that this campaign lets people know that they don't have to struggle on their own.
Shaylin Dawkins knows suicide is a huge problem. So when he heard about the Never a Bother campaign,
I was all in from the second I heard about it.
He is one of more than 400 young Californians that shared their thoughts, feelings, and perspectives in how to best reach a younger generation.
We really had a say in, how the campaign looked and the messaging, even down to, simple things like the colors on the website or how the website even flowed.
Youth are their best spokespeople. You really need to give them the equipment and the resources, and they will help create those prevention messages.
Matt Cervantes is with the Sierra Health Foundation, one of the organizations involved. He says the campaign will be pushed out via traditional advertising, social media, and even use community outreach strategies. The big focus will be on populations they say are disproportionately impacted by suicide.
And that's the beautiful part about this campaign. It's youth-centered. It's providing and meeting young people where they're at.
There have been a lot of times, especially when I was younger, when I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what resources to point them towards. And I think that this campaign is vital because it allows people a gateway to resources.
The hope is this gives youth a message that there is help out there, that they deserve it, and where to find it. Dominic Garcia, CBS News, Sacramento.
A new study has found the mechanism in the brain that might drive drug addiction. In a study in mice, researchers at Mount Sinai tracked exactly how cocaine and morphine can alter the brain's reward system with repeated exposure, disrupting brain cells' ability to function normally. The research identified a specific gene that plays a role and could be a target for future therapies to treat addiction. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, how soap used during manufacturing is leading to a recall of Tesla Cybertrucks.
Plus, it looks like the weekend's going to be a little bit on the chilly side, but when are we going to warm back up? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, not a bad Friday for us today. A little chilly for this time of the year. We should be into lower 70s. Most of us went into lower 60s, some mid and upper level clouds, but overall, it looks pretty good outside. A nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Looks like it's going to be a pretty nice evening. Temperatures right now, we're sitting at 63 in Lamar, Neosho 65, Veneta at 67 in Chanute. Here's 7th and Rangeline sitting at 63. Northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10, so not bad. It's going to be a nice evening, but it is going to be a little bit chilly tonight. Actually, the next couple nights will drop back to about 39 or 40 degrees for overnight lows, but staying above that frost level. We'll slide back through the 50s and then through the 40s, but you can see those mid and upper level clouds kind of streaming through. Besides that, we're tracking this weak wave. You can see some showers out across parts of Nebraska, and then the upper level wave is back toward Las Vegas. This doesn't have much moisture, but it is going to produce some light showers, mainly south of us, as we go through the weekend. So you can see them tracking down through Oklahoma, Arkansas, some thunderstorms once you get down into Texas. But our neck of the woods, we will get a few random showers as this system passes by, and then we clear out right behind it. So let's get a closer look. We'll break down your weekend. Temperatures tonight falling back near 40 for an overnight low. As we go through the daytime hours tomorrow, you can see some spotty little tiny showers trying to pop up. A lot of clouds throughout the day, random pop-up shower throughout the day. High temps 59 to about 60 degrees. So it is going to be a little bit cooler than what we've even seen today. Clouds stick around tomorrow night, but by Sunday morning, the clouds will start to break up. We'll see partly sunny skies and a little bit warmer as we'll go into the lower 60s by the time Sunday afternoon rolls around. So let's go 60 tomorrow, random shower, 62 on Sunday. It's going to be chilly, but overall, it's a pretty nice weekend. Looking down the road, though, we do have changes, showers, thunderstorms back in the forecast. This is on Tuesday. It doesn't really look like much in the way of a severe threat, which is good. Thunderstorms Thursday night into Friday. This is going to be a severe threat. And then right behind it, we start to warm up next weekend. Bigger severe threat moving in next weekend. So next Saturday and Sunday. So let's glance at next week for you. Here's that wave on Tuesday, most likely not severe. It passes through, then we reload, and here we go again as we get into Thursday. Showers, thunderstorms into Friday morning. And then Friday afternoon, most of the storms will stay off to our east, and then here we go again. Here's Saturday, and then into Sunday, we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms. And we're getting deeper into April, closer to May, and our setups get a little bit more intense this time of the year. All right, 60 tomorrow, 62 on Sunday, 70 on Monday. Thunderstorms Tuesday, and then look at all those chances starting next Thursday. In mid-80s too, here in about a week.
Wow, that is spring for you.
That
Rain
is.
chances, some cool weather, some hot weather.
There you go.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, a question science had never asked is, how long does it take a bumblebee to drown? Well, researchers in Canada are getting closer to that answer purely by accident. They were surprised when they accidentally submerged hibernating queen bumblebees in water and found they survived. Those bees were underwater for 7 days. Bees, of course, don't have gills, so scientists aren't sure exactly how they survive so long. Staying active but hurting the environment. Coming up, scientists search for solutions to recycle activewear clothing. Topping today's Consumer Watch, activewear is one of the fastest growing categories in fashion, with sales projected to reach $770 billion by 2032. But the material that gives yoga pants stretch can pose an environmental challenge. Bradley Blackburn looks at the problem and how science is looking for solutions.
At Fab Scrap in New York, bags filled with fabric are stacked to the ceiling.
This is waste from the fashion industry in New York City, specifically from design offices.
This nonprofit uses volunteers to meticulously sort scraps so they can be reused or recycled instead of thrown away.
There's a lot of handwork, there's a lot of human effort to make things recyclable.
Items that can't be repurposed are shredded into something called shoddy that can be used as insulation. But founder Jessica Schreiber says it's a challenge with fabric that stretches.
Spandex here, definitely spandex here.
The elastane woven inside activewear and other garments makes them difficult to shred.
Too much activewear would pollute this, basically.
Yeah, it would. Basically, this wouldn't be possible with too much spandex. The rubber would melt and this would become really sticky and gummy.
Scientist Stefan Christensen wants to make recycling stretch fabrics easier. At his lab in Denmark, he's researching a chemical process to break down elastane and leave behind useful fibers.
Meaning that you would get the fiber mesh out of the nylon intact, but you would have washed away the elastane.
The research is early, but with real promise.
Our tests show that the nylon we get out is similar to the one you would get virgin grade.
But even those working on a better solution say everyone should be more aware of what they wear.
There's so much clothing that we consume that it's really a waste stream now as opposed to a donatable commodity. I think we need to start thinking about it more like plastic.
And no, all clothing comes with an environmental cost. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Now, according to the EPA, since 1980, textile waste in the U.S. has jumped more than 650%. Less than 15% of it is recycled. Tesla has been ordered to recall nearly 4,000 Cybertrucks because the accelerator pedals can become stuck in the down position. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, workers improperly used soap to help fit the pad onto the accelerator panel. The residual lubricant from the soap can keep the pad from staying on when it's pressed down, and that can cause the accelerator pedal to stick in place. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Steve Hartman takes us on the road to Alabama, where one little girl shared her love by the cupful. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear more from a local farmer and a U.S. senator pushing for a new farm bill. Plus, the city of Miami breaks ground on a new airport terminal, and it's a rematch of the first softball game of the season as Independence takes on Baxter Springs, and we're going to have the highlights for you. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. The overnight's at least getting chilly out there, Doug.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of cool over the next couple nights. We're going to dip back right around 40 degrees. 60 tomorrow, 62 on Sunday, a couple random showers tomorrow, and then thunderstorm chances, a lot of them next week.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.